Hello and welcome to Third Eye TV Africa. My name is Joy Malik. We begin with the headlines. NDLEA arrests Turkey-bound businessman with 120 wraps of cocaine in Kano State. EFCC apprehends 11 suspected internet fraudsters in Niger State, plus Nigeria presence in Abuja. Now let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you the news in detail.
For deeper analysis on security situation in Nigeria and beyond, watch Third Eye Africa TV.
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Well, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has arrested a 42-year-old Angola businessman Mbala Danjo Abuba at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano State, for attempting to traffic a large consignment of cocaine which he ingested to Istanbul, Turkey. The agency's spokesman Femi Babafemi said that Abuba, who is from the Zal province in Angola, was arrested at the screening point of the Kano airport while trying to board Egypt's air flight MS-880 to Istanbul, Turkey, via Cairo. After his body scan result confirmed he had ingested an illicit drug, he was thereafter placed under excretion observation, during which he expelled 120 pellets of cocaine weighing 1.829 kilograms in 7 excretions. And on cybercrime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's Kaduna Zone has apprehended 11 suspected internet fraudsters in Chanchangi local government area of Niger State. In a statement released, the commission disclosed that operatives recovered 2 vehicles and 13 mobile phones of various brands during the operation. It said the operation followed credible intelligence linking the individuals to fraudulent online activities, noting that the arrests were conducted professionally with no incidents of misconduct. According to the statement, the suspects will be charged to court upon the conclusion of investigations. The crackdown comes barely a week after the EFCC apprehended 59 suspects on Abacha Road, Mararaba, in major link between Nasarawa State and Abuja. The statement said the commission continued to intensify its efforts in combating cybercrime and other forms of financial fraud across the country. Now, the Nigerian police force has dismissed claims circulating on social media about the presence of 79 terrorists in Lugbe area of Abuja, the Nigerian capital, describing the reports as false and misleading. Amid growing security concerns in the Federal Capital Territory, the police reassured residents that there was no intelligence to support the claim. In a statement, the force public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi debunks the viral message widely shared on WhatsApp and other platforms as a deliberate attempt to incite panic and destabilize peace in the city. The police urged Nigerians to rely only on verified information from official sources, including the force social media handles, warning against spreading unverified security alerts that could cause unnecessary alarm. Now, troops of 6th Division, Nigerian Army, in a major breakthrough in the fight against oil thefts, have arrested 16 suspected oil thieves and confiscated over 24,000 liters of stolen products in a series of operations conducted from February 24 to March 2nd, 2025. Now, the operations, which were carried out in collaboration with other security agencies, resulted in the destruction of 14 illegal refining sites across Bayelsa, Rivers State, Delta State, and Akwa Ibom State. Danjuma noted that in Bayelsa State, troops destroyed 2 active illegal refining sites around Bisini in Yanagwa local government area. Similarly, in Rivers State, he noted that a truck loaded with 140 sacks of stolen crude, estimated to be over 7,500 liters, was intercepted at the refinery checkpoints in Okrika local government area. However, the driver absconded, abandoning the vehicle. Now, the federal government has stated that Nigeria's Safe School initiative is now being recognized globally as a model for implementation. The Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Annette, who spoke in Abuja, added that when the country invests in keeping schools safe, it invests in its future. In a statement issued by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga, the minister stated that this has always been her firm belief as the government works to secure the future of Nigeria's children. According to her, since 2017, Nigeria has prioritized financing for this initiative, developing sustainable financing mechanisms to safeguard education. The minister stressed that Nigeria now stands proudly alongside Spain, Argentina, and Norway as co-planning countries for the Safe Schools declarations. Now let's go on a quick break, and when we return, newspaper and press review continues. So stay tuned.
Deeper analysis on security situation in Nigeria and beyond, watch Third Eye Africa TV.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is newspaper and press review. Well, today in the studio we have our in-house guest, Mr. Udo Itefia. Welcome, sir.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, in page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have protests in Jos over killing of truck drivers in Southeast. We also have in page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper, bandits adopt 4 university students in Katsina State. And then in page 14, we have Natasha versus Akpabio. ACF demands probe, Senate rules out impeachment. And in page 6, we have Sarkin Sasa dies at 125, Makinde, others mourn. And then in the Leadership newspaper, we have Labour fumes over Thorcom, electricity tariff hike. You will find that in page 4 of Leadership newspaper. And then gunmen kill 11 in Benue, Kebbi, and Kebbi farmers flee. Find that in page 7 of the Leadership newspaper. Well, 12 die in Bini Auchi road crash. You find that in page 7 of the newspaper. Well, also back to Daily Trust newspaper, we have massive job losses in Nigeria over US aid funding freeze. That you find in page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then in the Blueprint newspaper, we also have NLC threatens to protest over Telkom's electricity tariff hikes. You find that in page 8 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then Senate tackles Sariki, vows not to reward falsehood. You find that in page 8 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then in the Nation newspaper, we have Fubara, I will obey Supreme Court's judgment. You find that in page 4 of the Nation's newspaper. Well, Mr. Udo, there has been a case of kidnapping in Katsina State where 4 students were kidnapped. And then in the news we read about safe schools and all of that, and then the government trying to implement safe schools for our students in Nigeria. But then we can see that um, insecurity is still on the rise. For instance, in Katsina State yesterday, 4 students were arrested. Please, can you throw more light on that? And what do you have to say? Is the government actually really working on the safe school initiation, the safe school, whatever? Is the government really working on that?
Yes, I think governments and government officials have been talking about the policy, implementation of the policy on safe school initiative. But to what extent that is having some effect in schools in Nigeria is a thing that is debatable. For instance, we've just read in Katsina State, students were kidnapped. And it has not just started. You know, we have had the one in Chibok that is still with us today, that hundreds of students were kidnapped. And the one in in another state that up till today, one of the kidnapped students is still in captivity. Nobody is able to account for her. And even before the one that we are talking about now, in Benue State, some 4 female students were kidnapped while coming back or while going to raid in the night. In fact, the school had been closed down. The Benue State University had been closed down because of that incident, because students had to protest.
Yeah.
And up till now, those four female students have not been brought back. They've not rescued them. So the policy on safe school that the federal government is talking about, to what extent is it having effect in the schools? Is there protection for students, even for workers? You know, right now in Benue State, yesterday I met a student of that school because he just went back from holiday, went back to the school about 2 months ago. So I saw him yesterday. I said, "Oh, you are back. Are you?" He said, "No, that there is a problem in our school, that they closed." And then he registered that, yes, I knew about this incident,
Yes.
that 4 female students were kidnapped. And because of that, the school had been closed down. And you know, this has affected the student. The time they're supposed to be learning, they are back at home because the school environment is not safe for learning. So they have to close it down. To what extent is the policy having effect on the students? You know, are they saved? Are the teachers saved? Are the workers generally saved being in that school? So now that kidnappers have tried and they kidnapped 4 female students and nothing is being done about it, and if nothing is still being done about it, they will come back. I asked the boy, is there, because the way they reported this matter is like the kidnappers just walked into the school and kidnapped. They said, yes, that in their school there is no fence. Can you imagine a university without fence? Without fence. That kidnappers can just walk in and freely take away students.
Is it that we have no security in our schools?
If you have security, civilian security, what can they are not armed and they are civilians. They are only trained on how to take care
Of school matters.
maybe school matters and the student that want to cause confusion. That is what they are after, not to be able to take on people who are armed. And these people might even be trained in the use of firearms. I mean, these kidnappers. So how would civilian security?
So what's your advice to the federal government? What do you want them to implement, and how do you expect them to safeguard our schools?
Yes, like in the case of this Benue State University, the school should be fenced. Proper fencing, that the security would only be monitoring the entrances to the school. Not that you are just looking at the bushes. Is somebody going to come from this side? If the schools are fenced generally, then you know that the civilian security is there, will have very little to do. You know, they know that at least if anybody wants to scale the fence, you know, if you scale the fence, you cannot also force the student to scale the fence when you are kidnapping them. You have to find a route. And by so doing, they may, those students may be rescued from the hands, if at all there is any attempt on kidnapping them. So to start with, they should make sure that all the schools, even the secondary school, especially boarding schools, are fenced. So federal government should put that into the policy, fencing of the schools, especially boarding schools, universities, that you have students day and night. They should fence the schools. And you should make sure that train security, because this is an unusual time. Train security personnel should be posted to these schools, should be posted to universities, posted to safeguard them, to protect the schools. That is what the policy is all about, protecting the schools against people coming to threaten the lives of the students and, of course, the workers. So security, they should send security personnel, maybe the police, police and policemen, that are also trained to take care and ensure security in school, not to do any other thing. Their duty, secure the schools. That is what the government should do.
So why come up with the safe school initiatives, telling the public that they've initiated it when nothing has been done?
Government government likes to come out with beautiful ideas. Maybe it works elsewhere. And they say, okay, why not copy this thing? Let's see how we can. And you know that, to start with, when a policy like this comes in, like to train security personnel, like to build fences in schools, it costs money. So for you to implement such a beautiful policy that you have initiated, you have to ensure budgetary allocation to that particular project. Without, if you just say we have safe school initiatives and nothing is being done, it's just on paper. There are so many government policies like that are just on paper. Nothing is being done to implement it effectively. So government should ensure that money is allocated to safe school initiative, to ensure that the schools are protected. Let what is in the policy be implemented, not just to speak about, to mouth it. We have safe school initiatives, but on daily basis, things are happening in the schools that ought not to be.
Well, away from that, in the Nation newspaper, we have, in Rivers State, we have Fubara saying, I will obey Supreme Court judgment. Governor asks council chairman to hand over and vacate office. This is in the Nation newspaper. You can take a look. What's really happening in Rivers State?
Yes, Rivers State has been in the news since this current governor was elected, Governor Fubara.
With the back and forth with the former governor.
With the former governor, who is now the Minister of FCT, Federal Capital Territory. And of course, we all know that the former governor, former Governor Wike, was the one that sponsored the election of this man. Single-handedly brought him to take over from him. So after he took over, there were even that rumor from the beginning, from the inception of Governor Fubara, that they disagreed. So what we got to know was that the current governor, the one that took over from Governor Wike, did not have a free hand. Like his hands were tied. Before you do this, you must take order from this person. Before you do that, you must take order from this person. It may not be former Governor Wike you should take order from directly. There were commissioners that seemed to be even more powerful than the governor. Before you do anything, you must take, instruction from maybe a commissioner that the former governor has appointed into his cabinet. And also, even the local government chairman that Governor Wike left behind, some of them were more powerful than the governor. And come to think of the members of the State House of Assembly, they were equally powerful. Nobody was willing to work and take instruction from the governor. So it's like the governor said, why am I here? Is in the course of struggling to be a governor like every other person. This is where the crisis started from. And of course we know it started with the State House of Assembly, and when it's like the governor was trying to be himself, and the members of the State House of Assembly wanted to impeach him. And in the process, you find out that there was this allegation that the State House of Assembly was burned down. Who did it? Till today we cannot tell.
We have no idea, yes.
So after that incident in the State House of Assembly, they relocated to a place. And the members, they are 27 in number, came up with the idea of impeaching the governor. So some few other members, about 5 of them, did not go along with them. It's like the other ones expelled them or suspended them. So these ones moved away to be working with the governor. So the governor recognized them. And the 25 of them decided, to be on their own, be loyal. That is why today they will refer to as 25 or 27 loyal to the Minister of FCT. So the situation continues like that, to the extent that when they wanted to impeach the governor and this back and forth, there was a meeting in the villa called by the president, and they were given some terms of, settlement. By the time they came back from that meeting, many observers said, look, these terms of settlement was in favor of Wike, that is the Minister of FCT. That was what was in the open. That it's like they still, the time of settlement still tied the hands of the governor that he could not operate. So it continued like that until there are so many court cases from the State High Court, the Federal High Court. One judgment will be passed by the State High Court, another judgment by the Federal High Court concerning the conduct of local government election. Of course, before this, that the State House of Assembly that is loyal to the former governor had passed a law extending the tenure of the former local government chairman and members, which the governor did not agree and did not sign that law. So they now sat and passed it into law, as it's required by the Constitution anyway, but the governor refused to recognize that. When the tenure of that local government had expired, the governor decided to conduct fresh election into the local government. And from what we learned now, the Constitution requires, before you conduct a local government election or an election, there must be 90 days notice. You have to give notice for 90 days for the display of the voters' register, so that those whose names might not have been in the register should have the opportunity to now register in preparation for the election. But this, the governor did not do. So this is part of why the Supreme Court last Friday voided the conduct of that local government election and said that it was null and void. And the governor has said he's going to abide with the judgment of the Supreme Court. He's going to obey it. Of course, he has no option, because the Supreme Court is the highest court, is the last court in the land. So once it passes a judgment, you have to obey. You have no other court to appeal to, except you appeal to the Almighty God. So that was the situation. And the governor has said, from what we have read, that he is going to obey the Supreme Court judgment. He had asked the local government chairman that emerged from the last election that have been running the local government to hand over to the administrative head, those who are not elected officials of the local government, so that they run pending the conduct of fresh election. But we have also read that those former governors that their tenure had expired, that the State House of Assembly extended by 6 months, have said they are going to come back, that the Supreme Court judgment favors them to come back. But mind you that the Supreme Court did not mention, although they are still waiting for the true copy of the judgment, they are still waiting for the certified true copy of the judgment, so as to know the pronouncement, what they said and what they did not say. So it is, the governor has said they are waiting for that to know to the extent to which they are going to obey the judgment. But these other local government chairmen who are loyal, who were loyal, who are still loyal, who were there, who were put there by the former governor, Wike, has said they are going to go back, except from today, they are going to go back to the local government to take charge. So this is going to still maybe continue to create crisis in Rivers State.
Well, away from that, we have in page 22 of the leadership newspaper on security matters, we have gunmen kill 11 in Benue, Kebbi, farmers flee. Now, this has me thinking, is the insecurity in Nigeria being tackled, or is it still on the rise?
There's, to some extent, the security in Nigeria the insecurity is being tackled by security agencies. They are doing their best. But you know that it's like when you try to contain it in this area, the thing will burst in the other area. So that is what has been happening. Right now, if you observe, you see that the security operative, security in their theater of war with these bandits and terrorists, have been focusing on the northeast that had been a theater of war in this banditry and insurgency, northeast and northwest, of course the north central as well. So the focus had been there, and you see, it appears that these bandits, they realize that more attention is being paid to the northeast, northwest, and part of the north central Niger and Kaduna. So Benue, which is part of the north central, is like being open for them. So security has to now go back to the drawing board. The security agencies have to go back to the drawing board and see how they can, because Benue had always been in the news. So they have to go back to the drawing board and see what can be done to plug the loopholes that have been created in Benue State.
Well, thank you, Mr. Udo, for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, because of time, this is where we will be drawing the curtain. Join us tomorrow, same time, same station on Newspaper and Press Review. My name is Joy Malik. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.